1, 2, Sarang!
Hey!
Hello, this is Pia.
Hi, this is Trency.
Annyeong! This is Monica and welcome to another episode of 1, 2, Sarang!
Yeah! Hi guys! Welcome back! Woo!
Hello.
So guys, guess what? It is now the month of March.
It's the fire month! It's the month.
It's time to bring out the flags and dance March by 17.
Okay.
Okay,
Also,
yes.
malapit na ang taxes. And also, patapos na yung first quarter. But more importanter, it is Women's Month.
Yeah, it's our month.
Celebrate women.
I know. Do you guys remember what we did last year?
Yeah.
Of course.
We talked
the
about
women
many
of
women.
Hallyu. Yes.
Many women of Hallyu. Okay, so napag-usapan namin na, of course, this year we want to continue the tradition of putting a spotlight to more women in Hallyu.
Yeah.
We want to be able to discover more of them because, you know, we need to discover one another.
Tama.
And like celebrate what we do, right? So, ang dami nila, to be fair. And of course, kasi madaming women around the world. And this year, syempre, para lang din we can really focus on who we want to discover, we decided to go to the film route. So we want to feature a film director who happens to be a woman.
Yes.
At ang napili natin ay si Direk Yim Soon Rye.
Yeah!
Clap.
Sino
kayo.
siya?
Okay, we'll get to know her a little bit more. So we'll be talking about her and we're gonna be talking about her films. We actually gave ourselves a homework and we decided to watch a film of hers. It's called Little Forest. So we're gonna do a mini review on the film. So, ayun, diba? So, gagawin natin, kikilalanin natin kung sino siya as a director, what Little Forest is about, and then, of course, syempre, dahil sobrang daldal namin, malamang mag-in-depth review kami about the film and all that, keme-keme. So, we're actually gonna like pause in the middle so that yung mga taong ayaw ma-spoil, we can give you a chance to like exit. Stop listening.
Yes.
Pero, panoorin nyo yung pelikula and then come back and listen to what we have to say about the film because
Correct.
we enjoyed it. Did you guys enjoy the film?
Yes.
I really loved it.
Yeah.
I did, no. I really did too. So, ayun, that's the plan, guys. Alam mo, sobrang swinerte natin in a way kasi just so that you guys have an idea to dear listeners, parang we collected info, like, different films who were directed by females. Tapos ang daming contenders. They were very, very interesting. Pero, we all voted for Little Forest for many reasons. Pero, ang ending kasi, so syempre, I tried to find out more about the director. She happens to be one of the more, alam mo yun, well-respected directors in Korea.
Wow.
Tapos, so she is 62. She's from Incheon. She's been doing film since like 2000, early 2000s or something like that. Tapos, let's see. Ito yung mga interesting stuff na nahanap ko about her. In 2000...
Wait, if she's 62, kung nasa 2000s siya nag-start, so she was in her 40s when she started directing. So, girls,
Yeah.
it's never too late to do
Tama.
whatever it is you wanna pursue. Ang galing. Okay.
Of course. But at the same time, ang comment ko lang din dyan is, eto na. Usually, yung mga directors, parang you become an AD for a while. Alam mo yun, you get to know, like,
Okay, you go through the ranks.
You go through the ranks to become a director. So, I'm kind of not surprised that at 62, well, siguro she started at around 40s nga. I'm kind of not surprised that she started directing her own films at around that age. Kasi normally, mga ganong age nga yung nagiging... Well, syempre may mga younger kasi
Ang
they'll
dami din
always
mga
be...
young directors.
There'll always be like those early on, alam mo yun, mas maaga silang na-discover or alam mo yun, nabigyan ng opportunity.
Yeah.
But around 40s, that's kind of like a pretty decent age to like start directing
Correct.
on their own.
Parang I read na she started out as a writer or something. Parang ganun.
She did have a
Like,
writing background too. Mm-hmm.
So that I guess that
But-
kind of like also influences how she directs, I guess.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
think so too. Basta basically, before directing, marami siyang parang pinagdaanan. Which is fine. I think most artists naman are like that. Alam mo yun? Ang daming in-explore until you figure out where you want to end up talaga. Because it's the only way you end up knowing what you want to do, right? And anyway, she had like this interesting project back in 2001. She made a documentary, and it's called Keeping the Vision Alive, Women in Korean Filmmaking.
Wow.
Oh, diba? Yeah, and then parang it featured, it's like, it was ang description of it was that it's an homage to Park Nam-ok. She is the first Korean female director, and her first film was in 1955. Can you believe?
Wow.
But anyway, so an homage to Park Nam-ok and Wang Yemi, Jang Hee-sun, Byun Young. So a lot of great Filipino Korean filmmakers, female filmmakers. And she also helped found the Center for Gender Equality in Korean film.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh!
diba? So
Na yan
she is
yung-
an ally. She is like our teammate. Alam mo yun?
Yes.
Oo.
Na malaking
sobrang-
issue yan ngayon in Korea also. That
I know,
gender
actually,
for,
sobrang natuwa ako nito.
sorry,
Kasi
center. Go.
when I was researching nga kung for films na pwede nating panoorin na female-directed. So, una kong tinype sa Google, what are the top Korean films, ganon. Tapos yung mga, usually may mga lists na are short as top 10, top 15. And they're all made by male directors. We've discussed this, we've seen a lot of Korean greats, Korean films, but like we never really encounter female directors, right? And it so that kind of makes sense. So I had to type female Korean films made by women just to be able to get the results that I was looking for. And then when I proceeded to researching about Yim Soon Rye, yung mga interviews niya, shinare niya talaga na it was really important for them to really start it because sobrang kitang-kita talaga yung difference between ng trato sa men and women in the film industry. And that kind of makes sense because, diba, as a culture, they really are very, very patriarchal. So, imagine kung sa Pilipinas nga, yung pinagdaanan ko, ramdam na ramdam ko yun. Alam mo yun, yung difference between men and women, the roles that are given to them, even the films that are awarded to male directors and female directors, you can tell the difference, right?
Yeah.
What more in Korea na mas OA yung patriarchal society nila, right?
Yeah.
Yung comment niya on the difference between a male director and a female director, yun nga, maliban sa opportunities. Parang you can kind of tell na pag male director ka, na-award, sa kanila talaga na-award yung mga blockbusters.
Yeah.
Alam mo yun, the big budgets.
Yeah.
And then for the female directors, sa kanila usually mga indies. Alam mo yun, yung mga...
Yeah.
Medyo parang personal narratives kind of treatment kind of thing. And she really wanted to change that. So, I found out na, so she's done a lot of films. Tapos, ang pinaka-recent movie niya is actually, do you guys remember when I sent you a trailer of Yoon Bin with a mustache?
Yeah. That's hers!
That's hers! And it's a freaking blockbuster. It's called Point Men. So, it was released this year. They shot it like before pandemic pa, pero ngayon pa lang siya na-release. Ngayon pa lang nila sinimulan yung mga promos and stuff like that. And if you see the trailer, it's like a big blockbuster. It's like, it's set in Afghanistan. So, mukhang big budgeted talaga siya. So, after reading so much about her comments about the female role in Korean film, and then finding out that she directed Point Men, it's kind of like a good thing, right? It's like, it feels like she succeeded in a way. Kasi she was given that role. So I'm so proud.
Yeah.
Kahit di ko siya kilala. Tita, I'm I'm so proud of you po. Parang gano'n. So, ayun nga. So, Point Man, that's like one of the films that she's done. She also did this other film. It's called Forever the Moment. This was released in 2008 and 8. The synopsis goes, it's a true story about South Korean women's national handball team that won the silver medal at the Athens Olympics. O, diba? Interesting. Tapos, ang
And
ganda.
handball, crash course in romance.
I know, right?
Ah.
That's ang ganda na description because Yim struck a balance between genre conventions and her own art house style by combining the dynamism and fast pacing of a mainstream sports film with character beats of the female athletes experiencing discrimination, job insecurity in their field, and divorce, death, ano ba yan? And infertility in their personal lives. So,
oh my
ang
gosh,
galing.
I'm so interested.
Me too,
Yeah.
diba?
Watch it.
Because it's like medalists, highly revered athletes, but they're still discriminated. They still, I mean,
Yeah.
tapos import yung topics of divorce, death, infertility, very female-centric. Alam mo yun?
Correct. Yes.
Parang ganda, I don't know. Hanapin ko siya. Tapos panoorin natin. Maybe you can do a review
I'm
of
so
it.
curious. Yes.
Right?
G.
Yon, it's called Forever the Moment. And then there is Little Forest, the film that we're gonna be talking about. This film was released in 2018. Hey, babasahin ko na lang ha. Pagod na ako eh.
Go.
Thank you, Wikipedia. It is the story of a young woman who returns to her childhood home in a traditional Korean village after leaving for the big city in pursuit of what turned out to be an elusive dream. When she returns home, her mother isn't there, but her mother's little forest, the many ways in which a single mother successfully made a home for her much-loved child, unfurl with a long succession of lovingly sketched details involving mostly food preparation. The unfurling moments are lightly but lovingly shared with two childhood friends, one of whom also abandoned their elusive dream of success in the big city, that's Seoul, by the way, and the other who is still pursuing the small town equivalent of that elusive dream without ever leaving home. And of course, its stars are very, very, very minamahal na
Yes.
actress, Kim Tae Ri.
Yay!
Love you po.
Grabe, no? And then, it's also starred by Ryu Junyol.
Yes.
He plays one of the friends, and Jin Ki-ju, the other friend. But so trio sila.
Yes.
Yes.
And then the mom is played by Moon Sori. So, did you guys like the film?
Ako, I did. It's super
Yes.
nice.
What can you tell? What can you say about
Parang
it?
it seems like such a, yung pinag-usapan natin kanina, it feels like such a fast-paced film, but it was slow pa rin. Alam mo yun? Parang babad siya, pero mabilis siya. Parang when I watched it, I didn't feel the time pass. Parang may ganun ako na feel.
True.
Ako rin, I super love this one. It is as indie can get.
True that.
But yung feelings talaga naglilinger. And sabi ko nga, ang dami kong iyak as a mom.
Oh,
Ayan,
shucks,
I really love this one.
Ang ganda nito, it strikes a chord kasi, well, first of all, so medyo I had to really pinpoint the years. So it was made in 2018, right? And then, kasi basically, like in the description that I read earlier, nag-alsabalutan si Te from the city to go back home in the province. And it feels familiar kasi if you remember, there was a time na ang dami nang nagsimulang tumira sa probinsya, alam mo yun. In one of the interviews about the film, si Direk Yim Soon Rye said na this is one of her favorite films actually kasi nung ginagawa niya to, parang pinili niya talaga tong kwento na to kasi it seemed like she wanted to contribute something to the youth. And it felt like, alam mo yon, it felt like this is something that could help them. Tapos nagkataon din kasi around that time. I guess hindi lang din pala kasi sa Pilipinas kasi even the interviewer was saying na there is that movement also in Europe. I guess European yung nag-interview sa kanya. Na yun nga, nagsisibalikan na nga sila to go to the provinces, like the little towns, to like start from scratch, to go for the simple living because they've had enough with the city. Alam mo yun? Meron talagang movement sa world nung mga panahon na yun na people just have had enough. Alam mo yun.
And I think parang good timing din na 2018 siya. Kasi parang 2020 naman, we were all forced to go off and like hide somewhere and, you know, try to figure our lives out. So, not directly relating. Pero I guess, kunyari, start of the pandemic and you're also like, you know, you're assessing your life. Parang pag napanood mo to, parang matutulungan ka niya, I guess, on like how to maneuver that very, alam mo yon, confusing phase of your life at that moment.
And even if it doesn't even have to be going back to the province per se. Kasi parang kunwari tayo in our group or like ako rin, I know a lot of people na because of Manila traffic, it's so bad. So sometimes you just don't want to stay in your home. You just want to rent a condo that's near your office. So madami ding mga ganon na parang even if hindi naman probinsya yung binalikan mo kung nung pandemic man or whatnot. Sa akin kasi parang yun din yung mas nag-strike. Yung parang yung childhood home versus your adult quote-unquote home. Parang yun yung mas element na nag-ano sa akin na grabe, yung coming back talaga to where you started. Ang dami talagang mga memories and ang dami talagang lumalabas dyan ng mga thoughts. Kasi, yun nga, ako, Pasig to Cainta. It's just like 10 minutes away from each other. But it's like a totally different experience whenever I go back to my home. To my childhood home. Yun.
Correct. Ganda-ganda pa no emphasis sa film about, you know, food and farming and, you know, getting all, you know, really, parang like relating to the land and all the naturalness of the world. Alam mo yun? And like if you're that kind of person who likes movies that kind of just want to make you relax a bit, get yourself out of the hecticness of real life. So, like, this is like the perfect film to watch. As in, para pag pinapanood mo siya, ang ganda pa ng mga shots of the vistas, alam mo yun, all the greenery. So, kung hindi mo kayang pumunta out of town, panoorin mo na lang siya. Parang natatransport ka eh. How they shot it.
I was so satisfied. Yeah, I was so satisfied with this film. Feeling ko nakatulong din na 1 hour 40 minutes lang siya. Kasi parang feeling ko anything longer, masyado na siyang babad in a way. It's a little bit too lingering na. So it's the perfect duration. Really wonderful cinematography. Like,
sobrang ganda. And the changing of the seasons, I really loved yung house niya. Ang ganda-ganda nung bahay
niya. I love the house.
And how we could see it, how it changed from season to season as well.
True.
Kaya parang, grabe talaga. Parang, syempre, hindi naman tayo makarelate. Wala naman tayong 4 seasons. Pero parang, it made me feel like some kind of, I don't know, longing na parang ano kaya feeling nun yung changing with like the seasons and all of that. True. And also parang gusto ko din i-add yung every time yung pag bumabalik din ng hometown, 'di ba? Or kunwari ako nga pag bumabalik ako ng childhood home, gustong-gusto ko din talaga yung feeling ng ano, yung neighbors, alam mo yon, yung the comfiness of tas yung mga pagchichismisan ka or upo ka muna dito, ano na nangyari sa iyo?
So pala pinagchichismisan ka.
Hindi ko siya gusto pero 'di ba parang
may sense of
so
community.
Freaking familiar. I don't like it. I actually hate it. But alam mo yun, parang kunwari minsan I just go for a walk inside our village tapos may makikita ka na ano na nangyari sa iyo? Ganyan. O alam mo yun, parang minsan nakakairita siya pero parang I'm home. Everybody knows my freaking business here. O nga pala.
and in stark contrast with like living in the city, na parang
pag
naglalakad ka, parang hindi mo kilala yung katabi mo, parang you don't like you bump someone and you don't care who it is, alam mo yun. Parang and everyone is just going at their own business. Alam mo yun. Versus in the province, everyone is their business.
Correct.
Well,
tapos parang diba we grew up knowing our neighbors and all of that. Kaya sometimes iniisip ko rin sa daughter ko, like, may grounding din ba siya? Kasi parang mas malaking part ng buhay namin is condo living where we don't know our neighbors. Ako, I always have my childhood friends to go back to and all of that. Parang meron kaya siyang ganun? Parang wala siyang ganung experience na feeling ko, I don't know if it's lacking, siguro iba din naman yung generation nila, pero parang it's just interesting kung ano yung magiging experience na yun for her growing up.
Okay, dear listeners, this is now your chance to step away, pause this episode, and move away from this watch the film first, and then come back. So that
Yes,
you can
we'll
hear
wait
what
for
we
you.
have to say. Luma pa talaga. So that we can hear
tinitigan.
what we have to say about the film. Sana nainganyo kayo, no? Sa mga pinagsasabi na namin about it early on. Pero I'm sure may iba sa inyo na kebs lang ang spoiler. So, tara. Stay pa tayo.
Continue listening.
Can we talk about how awesome Kim Tae Ri is in this film?
Oh
I
my
know.
gosh.
As per usual. She's just so great. I love her when she does. Ang galing niya kasi sa mga like tempered, nuanced acting eh. Alam mo yun?
Oo.
Yung kahit
Mata-mata acting.
mata-mata acting. Yung, I mean, minsan nga pag kumakain lang siya, hindi na niya kailangan masyadong express. Pero may ini-express siya. Alam mo yun?
Correct.
Kasi alam mong nasasarapan siya, pero hindi naman siya, yung alam yung parang
Exactly.
lumalaki. Walang ganun eh. Parang, alam mo kung ano yung
Exactly.
iniisip niya, pero hindi niya kailang outrightly super ipakita.
Did you guys, feel na Hido here pa rin?
Ako, hindi.
Hindi.
Kasi si Hido sobrang niyang brusco, tomboyish, and since pinapanood nga ulit ng daughter ko yun ngayon, so
Yeah.
parang nakita ko na, grabe din, yun din, kasi sa Mr. Sunshine, ibang-iba din yung atake niya sa character doon. She's really different in each role. Tapos
Correct.
dito, yun nga parang, di ba, it begins with her on a bike. So, parang iniisip ko,
Cute.
oh my gosh, parang si ano lang to, si Becky Jean na nagbabike magana ng
Yeah.
Jaguar. Parang yun
Oh my
yung
God,
mga thoughts ko.
that's in my notes. Yeah. It opened
oo.
with the exact same frame na pumasok
Right?
yung bike. Yeah, yeah.
Pero
That's
parang, and then, but just at that moment, you're reminded, and then you forget. You're
That's
immersed in this
true.
character and then this story, and yun na siya.
True.
Walang Hido akong nakita dito.
True. Ako din, wala. I think siguro with Kim Tae Ri lang, kasi napaka-distinct kasi nung itsura niya. She doesn't look like
ayun
anyone
yun
else.
nga eh.
Plus yung
Oo.
styling pa niya, bangs, plus yung buhok niyang malaki.
Correct.
So parang medyo
Actually-
may ganun. Pero like if you take that all out, it was a completely different attack. Parang like, I mean when I was watching her, parang nafe-feel ko talaga yung like pagod. Which like, syempre wala sa 25-21, diba? Kasi powered by youth pa siya dun eh.
Oo.
I guess I just like asked it out out loud kasi I've seen Kim Tae Ri before like in other films pero siguro dahil ang lakas lang din ng impact ng 25-21. So when I was watching it, I kept on thinking about her Nahido, but not because I was seeing it in her character here. Her name here is Haewon. Haewon. Oo. Her name here is Haewon. But more of like, I don't know, siguro fresh pa lang. It's been a year, by the way. Like, very apt then that we're talking about Kim Tae Ri because 25-21,
Yes.
around March this time last year, ito yung peak nung series.
Yeah.
So, siguro I was just thinking about it.
Si
It's
Kim
such a
Tae Ri
great
din
show.
kasi parang she adds a little bit of spunk in everything that she does.
does.
Alam mo yun? So parang dito naman may ganun din. Although, we catch her spunk at its dimmest. Kasi syempre, alam mo yun, parang she's in the middle of the struggle. Pero, I mean, that's what I like about her. Kasi kahit na she transforms character to character, parang meron pa rin siyang dinadala that's very true to who she is as a person.
Can we talk about Ryu Junyol? Sobrang nakakatuwa siya dito kasi napaka, I don't know, there's something so cheerful about his character here.
Yeah.
Na medyo same energy as Terry in a way. Na,
Yeah.
alam mo yun, you're just smiling every time you see him. That's how I felt about him. So,
Sobrang love ko din yung yung storyline ng character niya. Kasi siya nga yung galing Seoul, bumalik sa probinsya. And then, parang sobra akong relate dun sa struggle na sabi niya na, ayoko na ng ganung buhay, ng corporate life.
Alam-
Yung ganun niyang
Actually,
Why?
naisip kita nun eh.
Diba?
Sabi ko, oh my God, it's Pia.
Correct! Tapos, magiging farmer.
Exactly!
Tapos na lang din kaya yung itanim
diba?
ko.
Para mga
Apples from
persimmons
Mindanao.
and persimmons.
true. But yes, to what you said nga, Pia. So, siya nga yung, in the description, siya nga yung character na mabilis niyang inaccept na, okay, hindi to para sa akin, yung city life. So, balik na lang ako dito. And, he's so content with going back home. Parang he
Mm-mm.
found ways to make it work. Whereas
Yeah.
Kim Tae Ri's character, siya yung may questions pa.
Mm-mm.
Alam mo yon kung ano talaga gagawin niya. Ang daming lingering questions. And then the third friend, si Yun Suk, siya yung naiwan. There's always that friend. Alam mo yon yung naiwan sa group.
Sa akin, hindi
I
naman
just don't
siya
wanna look at it in a
sad.
negative
Oo
light.
nga.
Exactly.
They didn't.
Kasi
They
may
didn't.
yun yung gusto niya eh.
Oo,
Like,
yun yung gusto niya.
yun yung life na gusto niya for herself. Like, nagagalit pa nga siya na, why would you tell me that I should quit? You should sympathize. Kasi, alam mo yun, may longing to escape rin siya. Pero parang, I just wanna say also na, sobrang love ko lang yung fact na, of course, 2 girls, 1 boy, so there was like a love triangle going on. But it never focused on that. Like, sobrang love ko lang
It was
na,
just a hint.
Oo, it was just like something on the side na nandun, na parang, kasi parang refreshing lang din na hindi binabad at hindi na natin kinailangan ng conclusion to that storyline. Parang ganon.
Very
Yeah.
focused. Actually, I really, really like how everything about this film was treated.
Yun na, nanggigigil ako dun sa favorite ko na scene nung kay Junior. Yung parang nung bumalik na si Terry, and then yung nag-walk away lang siya, tas yung kumaway siya.
Ako din!
It's just a
Ang
shot of his back.
cute! Sobrang cute nun. Favorite ko din.
Diba?
Yun. Yeah.
It's just a shot of his back, but alam na alam mo kung ano yung itsura niya. Alam na alam mo yung happiness sa mukha niya nung nangyari yun.
Sobrang
So
cute.
beautifully acted that scene. Ang ganda. Beautifully acted, beautifully shot. Everything was so perfect. Naiyak din ako dun.
What I
actually.
also like about that is that it was also too hog to when we first meet Junior's character, Jaina.
Yes.
Yung dumaan lang siya,
Yes.
tapos tumingin lang siya. Kumaway ba siya? Basta ang laki ng smile niya.
Yeah.
Basta, alam mo yung itsurang, alam mong nagkatinginan sila and they recognized each other.
Yeah.
And then he just drove away. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, this is so cute. I mean, this is like one of the cutest character introductions I've ever seen. Alam mo
Correct.
yun?
Yeah.
And alam mo na part yun ng everyday routine niya. Dumadaan siya dun sa bahay just to check.
True.
Yun yung ano niya.
Natutuwa ako na parang, di ba nung end, di ba parang, like towards the end, yung character ni Kim Tae Ri left, and then the other friend, yung si girl, parang she was kind of like, parang bakit niya siya nagsabi na umalis siya, bigla lang siya umalis, ginost niya tayo, ganyan. Tapos si Junyul naman was like, I know she's coming back. So there's something about him that he doesn't have to say anything.
Yeah.
When he feels something, he knows it's true. I guess like he's like that kind of person, very instinctive. That's why it's easy for him to let go of his job. That's why it's so easy for him to grow a farm. Alam mo yun? Yeah, may mga
Take
may
over
taong
the
may
orchard.
like it's just very clear to them what they see. It's like either they're very perceptive and they just know. Alam mo yun? And I don't know, I like that. Parang metaphor din. Ako for me, the whole thing is like, and you know, nature, being with nature is just such a big metaphor when it comes to like really truly living life.
Because he did say na something about permanent
Exactly.
planting.
Yun.
Yun
Doon
yung
nag-start
part
yung
na yun.
tears ko actually, yung sa onions. As in, doon na ako nag-umpisa. Kasi, honestly, I was kind of parang medyo distracted yung utak ko while watching it. But then, parang throughout, I was like, bakit ba Little Forest yung title nito? And then, yung pagdating dun sa scene na yun, parang, fuck! Parang everything clicked, and then parang dun na nga, nag-start na akong maiyak dun sa part na yun, na parang, okay. Ang ganda, and everything just came together with that scene, yung inaano nila yung mga onions.
Yeah.
Speaking of onions, and speaking of metaphor, actually, let's go na to the question that I wanted to ask. Because even in the summary, right, it was mentioned that food had a very, very important role in this film. I'm so blown away by it.
Yeah.
How do we explain it? What did you guys think of it? I mean,
Nung pinanood ko siya, and specific dun sa mga cooking scenes, as in para akong nanonood ng show ni, what's her name? Basta di ba sa Food Network, parang at some point nauso yung pag sinushoot nila. Si Contessa, yung isa pa yung British girl, the black hair, beautiful British girl. Alam mo yun, na parang when they cook, parang it's shot so beautifully. It's like, alam mo yun, parang it's like you can feel the love through how they shot the food. And that's exactly what they did here. Na parang, first scene pa lang pagpasok niya, dumating siya sa bahay, walang pagkain, meron lang konting bigas. Tapos, naghanap pa siya ng lettuce galing dun sa snow. Diba? Alam mo yun, na lettuce na sobrang mukhang withered na. But when they shot it while she was cooking, it just looked so scrumptious. It just looked so delectable. And to think that it's such a simple dish. It's just parang kimchi stew. Diba? Na may lettuce, tas meron siyang kanin, and that's it. And alam mo yun, parang, and for me, parang ang ganda lang yung ding emphasis as to what this show is, all about. It's like going back to your roots, going back to your roots, and like taking pleasure in the slow things in life.
Correct. And also, like, that was also yung isa sa mga lines ni Haewon when she went home, diba? I went home because I'm hungry. Yun yung sinabi niya. Kasi yung food sa Seoul, instant, hindi niya parang there was even a scene na kahit yung kanin doesn't taste the same. Parang may ganun siya na parang kanin, nagbabago ba lasa niyan? But yes, nagbabago yung lasa ng kanin. Iba yung kanin na sinaing ng mommy mo, yung ganun.
Yung kanin sa 7-Eleven, napaka-gummy. Alam mo yun? Sorry naman 7-Eleven pero alam mo fake. Diba? Tapos parang plastic
parang may
taste.
fake ba na kanin, pero parang meron.
Diba? Parang styrofoam ba to? Ganun.
Diba? Ay, hindi. Mini-stop ang
mini stop
PPL dito sa movie na to. Diba? Mini-stop workers.
Naka-mini-stop nga siya. Correct.
Pero chinaka yung food ng mini-stop dito. Sorry, mini-stop.
Uy, I love the mini-stop chicken, BT dubs. Anyway, yun yung, syempre, ito na naman, mga as a mom, iba kasi din talaga yung mga, the things that go through a mom's mind kapag nagpe-prepare ka. Sobrang dami mong kailangan i-consider, sobrang dami mong iniisip. And her mom's freaking extraordinary. Parang hindi ko nga siya ma-place. Kasi sabi ko, okay, they're showing us na para siyang, hindi naman sa country girl, pero like she's very comfortable in the province. But yet, she knows Japanese food, she knows French food, and she knows how to prepare it. So it seems like she's a woman of the world who had to settle down and then suddenly be part of a family. Parang may ganon na parang, and then you just found out that story with the food that she's preparing for her daughter. Sobrang ganda nung pagkakagawa nun. And even yung sa, naiyak naman yung sa potato bread.
Yeah.
Yung parang, yung sinulat na lang sa kanya yung recipe na dati ko pang hinihingi sa kanya and then now she just writes a letter with no return address and just gives it to me. Yung mga ganun na parang, hi, mother's love. It shows up in such weird places but it's there in the food that they serve.
And it's so complicated, no, her relationship with her mother. I mean, nung start kasi nung unang pinakilalang nanay, parang merong instant hate na parang, why would you leave your child? Alam mo yun?
It was so hard to,
diba?
To understand that part.
Oo.
But, ang ganda nung bandang end part. Kasi naintindihan
That's the
niya
journey.
Kung ano yung pinagdaan, naintindihan niya na finally kung ano yung naisip ng nanay niya kung bakit ganun. Which I think is so applicable to us too. I mean, we have our little complicated ups and downs with our mothers. And then we talk about this often, like, we try to understand them in the hopes that and also hope that they can understand us. But ang ending is basically naiintindihan natin sila slowly and kahit papano na-figure out natin how to deal with whatever it is that we
and there are things
with.
that you would just really understand with age. Diba? Parang it was the same letter naman that she read She read it when she was a high school senior when she was left by her mom and she parang her initial was, I don't understand it. And then now, after she went through this journey, it all made sense. So, may mga bagay din talaga na, I mean, hindi din natin maintindihan about our parents, especially when we were growing up. Pero now that we're older, kaya pala sila ganun. Ang dami ding mga ganong mga moments, right?
Correct. I forgot to mention that the script, sorry, she didn't write this pala. Yim Soon Rye did not write this. This is actually based on a Japanese manga. So, and then ang description is that in the manga, every chapter had a very precise recipe of the food that they prepared. So, kaya natuwa ko kasi I loved how they showed the food here. It was very whimsical in a way. And it was very Japanese, very manga. Tapos nakakatuwa na of course they have to make it their own kasi it's Korean, pero nandun pa rin yung Japanese. Or at least they didn't keep it to just Korean food. Alam mo yun? Kasi they also had pasta and all that. So parang they tried to put in as much kinds of food as possible. Different kinds of food as much as possible. Dahil, very prominent na she learned how to cook because of her mom. Or you can tell na she must be like this whimsical. Well, she was described as an unusual, a unique person. So, she must have known a lot of things din talaga. And even though it wasn't explained in the letter kasi it was said na she wanted to do things that she's always wanted to do, but she kind of held off that dream because nga, she chose having a family first. So, in a way, it felt like she's actually a very worldly person. Alam mo yun? Parang marami siyang alam sa at gustong gawin sa life. So, kaya it doesn't, parang hindi ko na question kung bakit ang interesting ng mga food choices na pinakita ng nanay niya kay Haewon na natutunan din ni Haewon. And at the same time, I love how, actually, someone pointed it out. So, the food, it represented the mom. So, the mom memories. It also represented the environment, basically. Kasi they just
the
used,
changing of the seasons.
and they used whatever was available. So, I absolutely love that. I mean, alam mo yung recipe na sobrang pinaka-namangha ako. That pasta with the flowers.
I know!
Yeah.
It was so pretty too.
Oh my God.
How very Sonia's Garden.
Diba?
Correct!
The others were very interesting too because you pick up a lot of things. I love kasi that they really show the process. Like, ang cute ng mga little notes on how she made the rice cake and the makgeolli.
Yeah.
May note pa siya na if you add malt, it becomes sweet. If you add yeast, it turns into wine. Mga ganun ba?
Yeah.
So I love that. And then the third, how they used the food was to kind of represent their feelings, I guess. Like, remember nung nagluto si Yun Suk ng tteokbokki na napakaanghang. So, niluto niya yun out of anger, frustration, kasi she quit her job, and then I think, and then parang medyo nagmumukmok kasi siya yung may crush kay Jeha. Tapos, dumating yung ex-girlfriend ni Jeha. So, gets, parang, nagluto lang siya, tas nung lalagay niya na yung peppers, parang sabi ni Haewon, oy, masusunog ang tiyan natin.
True.
Yeah.
Pero sa sobrang galit, nagdagdag pa rin siya ng peppers. Tuloy, sobrang naging anghang nung tteokbokki na niluto niya, na naiyak sila, na sobrang cute ng reveal na yon by the way. Na yung pumasok si Jeha, tas ang line niya lang is, nag-away ba kayo? Tapos yung itsura ng dalawa, yung parang tahimik na hindi makagalaw because of the anghang. Anyway, the tteokbokki, ginamit naman ni Jeha kasi siya naman may pinagdadaanan na masakit with her ex-girlfriend. So, nung kumain siya na napaka-anghang na tteokbokki, naiyak siya. So, gets parang kahit sinabi niya na I'm crying because it's spicy, you know na
it's a different kind
there are
of crying.
feelings involved. So, I love that they used food to express that. And to express time. So, I love that they chose recipes that really needed time to prepare. Because it was like such a repeated theme na to get the best things, it takes time. Parang something about the potato. So, parang siya yung parang mahirap siyang i-grow, but essentially,
but the onions,
the onions
best
din
things,
na mas masarap ang onions that went through the winter cold.
Yeah.
I also love that kasi parang yun yung thing about sa province they know what's in season and that's what they cook.
True.
Meron pa nga akong napanood before na parang sabi nila, you would know someone is from Busan kung ang kakainin lang niya seafood is the seafood that is in season. Kasi that's when it's best prepared or best consumed. Na parang tayo kasi wala na tayo alam parang kahit anong available kakainin na lang natin. Parang ganun, 'di ba? Parang ano nga kaya yung feeling kapag yung in season talaga to? So, mas masarap pa siya.
True.
Parang, I love how they really use that and really, yun nga, the changing of the seasons with food. And syempre, yung sa chestnuts at ang naalala ko na naman si Jongmin, fall, mushroom, chestnuts, brown. Parang ganun, di ba?
Ooh, I forgot to say a trivia. Did you know that Yim Soon Rye is a pescatarian? So if you noticed, all the recipes
walang
never
wala nga
used
tayong
meat.
nakitang samgyupsal.
Actually.
Yeah.
Tsaka siya, animal rights activist.
Yes.
And I think yung aso niya ata doon, totoo niyang aso in real life. Parang may nakita akong picture niya na meron siyang puting asong dalas. Pero ako like, is that the dog?
Oh my gosh.
Probably.
Ano yung sabihin ko? Yun din about the food. Yung parang in a very simple way, pinakita din yung relationship niya with the boyfriend in Seoul. Diba? When she was packing lunch for him and then like with the friends, yung parang, uso pa bang mag-pack ng food in this day and age?
Aww.
Something simple like that, na hindi man lang niya pinagtanggol, na parang I think she's just bored. Something like that. Ba yung sagot ng boyfriend niya? Instead na sabihin na, ang sarap magluto ng girlfriend ko eh.
Yeah.
Alam mo yun? Parang instead na gano'n, parang, it just shows talaga na, okay, this isn't gonna work out. And their breakup scene was so direct and so simple and hindi kailangan ng babad iyak. Alam mo yun? Everything was so beautifully and parang the timing was good.
Tsaka it made sense eh. Kasi parang, basically, hindi lang sila nag-uusap for a while.
Oo nga.
Tapos ang ganda ng direct na parang, sabi ni Haewon, I'm gonna tell you something. Diretso si Guy na, are we breaking up?
Break up, question mark, yun na kagad.
Kasi di ba parang matagal na silang hindi nag-uusap? Kasi di ba she left Seoul and then parang ginost niya for a while. So I guess
But then, yun nga iniisip ko that whole time. Kasi kung mahal mo yung babae, susundan mo. Alam mo naman kung saan siya nun eh. But he never made an effort. And Korea isn't that big. Di naman niya, hindi naman nasa Jeju si Terry para kailangan pa mag-aeroplano, di ba? And 1 year siyang nawala kasi winter to winter.
Correct, true.
So, walang effort that whole time na hanapin siya, puntahan siya. So, wala talagang
And si Terry
kailangan
din.
paglaban sa relationship
Hindi rin siya
na yun.
nag-effort to inform him na gets. Ang ganda ng unang lining, it's been a while. So, ibig sabihin, ang tagal na nilang di nag-uusap.
Hindi siya mahilig mag-inform, no? Si Terry. Bigyan na siya umaalis.
Correct.
Pero ang dating sa akin, ito talaga, yung contrast talaga ng I mean, I'm going out of the food situation na. Parang
Go.
Parang like, yung contrast lang talaga ng like, city life, the urbanized life that we live, and, you know, the provincial life. Kasi doon, parang, and going back into what Mon said earlier, na parang, this is like, the director's parang contribution to like, the youth's healing. Parang, if you're in the city, kasi parang, I think there's so many societal pressures on you. You know, having a good job, passing exams, being in a relationship, especially in Korea, where like, kailangan may jowa ka. Kung wala kang jowa, parang paraya ka automatically. Tapos parang kaya parang nung pinag-uusapan natin ngayon about her relationship with that guy, maybe she didn't really like it at all. Alam mo yun? She was just forced into that situation because society said that she should be that way. And her going back talaga to the province is like going back to what she really wants as a person. Like, dahil, alam mo yun, na lahat naman nung kilos niya, na-instruct lang sa kanya ng mundo. Alam mo yun? Versus her mother who wanted to do her own thing. Alam mo yun? Pero nakulong din. So, alam mo yun, parang, ang ganda lang nung contrast. And then, of course, like, going to the province and all its nature, alam mo yun, parang, ang ganda nga ng mga scenes actually, mayroon akong favorite scene doon na yung nagkaroon ng typhoon. Tapos, di ba nasira yung crops? And then, parang nasad yung lady kasi the crops are gone. Si auntie. Pero you know, na with nature, everything goes back to life again. You know,
exactly.
Like the seasons, you know. So parang, in her journey, she might have fallen, but eventually, she will bloom once again. Alam mo yan, and her blooming might be even more beautiful than the last season. So, ganda-ganda lang ng mga ganong tie into sa nature-ness.
Yes.
Kaya parang ako like, alam mo, kaya favorite talaga ni Namjoon ng nature eh. Kasi ang daming metaphor sa nature, nakakatawa.
Yeah.
In the way they presented it pa, there wasn't like there wasn't any anger. It was just, that's it. This is
Yeah.
nature. Alam mo yun?
True.
Yung line,
It's
it just goes,
Mm-mm.
parang the line, she just said, you work hard in the scorching heat in the
Mm-mm.
summer.
Mm-mm.
And then with just one night of rain, it's gone. Parang, ang sakit. But the thing is, next season, it's back. Here's another chance. And they kept repeating it, yung something about the tomatoes, na parang, kumbaga, isang mistake lang ng tubig sa tomatoes.
Correct.
The harvest will be horrible na. And then she made a comment na that particular year, it wasn't a good year for tomatoes. But it wasn't like the end of the world. Alam mo yun?
Correct.
Yeah.
Oo.
Kumbaga, accepted na, okay, this year isn't for tomatoes. Parang ganun.
True.
I have a question though. So I actually wanna move to the next question, the last question for you guys. I was gonna ask if you guys would be open to relocating, to retransplanting yourself elsewhere. Is it necessary ba talaga to be like transplanting ourselves to a faraway place, aka probinsya? Kasi it's similar to what Pia said nga earlier na yung hometown is just Cainta, which is like 10 minutes away from Pasig. And there's like a huge difference. It could be rin naman kasi na within the city pa rin. Kasi, I mean, and admittedly, not everyone has that option. Alam mo yan, to go back to a non-city life.
Sa akin kasi parang, I mean, if we're following the context of the film, she relocated because she wanted to rediscover. And I don't think it has to be, a place that you're familiar with. The point is you have to take yourself away from that comfort zone. Alam mo yun, or that place that bound you. Like, for example, I know so many friends who, like, had such a hard time during the pandemic and, like, questioned, their place in the world. And what they did is they took themselves out of Manila and not go to any province, but traveled, for example. Diba? Parang, I think that's also one way to reconnect with who you are. Alam mo yun, try to put yourself in a situation na parang you react differently from what you do sometimes. But also people then, I guess may iba rin kasing feeling if you find yourself back at home because you're reconnecting na to that roots. But parang if relocation or parang uprooting yourself from the place where you're so used, a place that you're used to transform yourself, parang I think it's a good decision din. Kasi parang naisip ko din parang like, pwede mo naman kasindaanin sa mindset, alam mo yun, parang you can change your way of living every day. Pero kasi iba kasi yung impact if you're not in your usual scenario eh. Yeah. Diba? Parang the surroundings will actually help in your transformation. Hindi mo much change yung sarili mo ng ganun kabilis if you're surrounded by the same walls, interacting with the same people, doing the same things every day. So, alam mo yun, kailangan tumiwalag ka dun. Alam mo yun. And kudos to her na she did it in the story. Yeah. Although at some point, parang sa start siguro, it comes off as if it's like escapism, I guess. She didn't want to face, the real life. And I think na-mention din yun sa film. Pero parang end of the day, if you need to do that to kind of like reboot, why not?
Ako, yun naman talaga ginawa ko.
True.
And balak pa rin gawin. Ako, sobrang, yun nga, parang nakarelate ako dun sa character nga ni Jeha na sometimes you just realize what is meant for you. Parang may time talaga na ang ginagawa mo siguro dictated by society, dictated by family, dictated by all these external factors. And sometimes tuloy-tuloy ka lang sa buhay mo just going through that and thinking that was the life you're meant to live. But then wala eh. There's a part of you na talagang na gustong ma-fulfill kung ano man yung dapat na ginagawa mo and magkakawala talaga siya. And I feel like that was my experience. I thought that I was going down that path na okay naman, wala namang masama, pero parang there was a part of me that was just discontent. So, I just decided, ayun, as in, bigla na lang, nag-resign na lang ako and a really good job na parang kumbaga, dream job pa nga yun, pero wala. Iwan na lang just so that I could follow the voices from within. The warrior is a child. Charot. And I follow. Anyway.
Singers.
Hindi, The Pilgrim, ano ba yun? Anong kanta yun? The Pilgrim Chenis. Anyway, The Pilgrim Song. Pero yun, so parang ako, discovery, it would happen like, it could happen in the city, it could happen in the province. Pero ako personally, yes, I am in the process of relocating and finding a way to find the balance of city life and also doing the things I want to do in the province or kahit sa childhood home ko lang. Like, balancing all of that. How about you, Mon?
It's very tough. Kasi parang I'm still in my childhood home. I mean, among the three of us, kayo kasi nagsilipatan na yun.
But you've also spent a lot of time away from it, then go back.
That is true. And then siguro kung meron akong next home that I'd consider wanna live
Seoul?
in,
Yeah.
no. It would be Baguio. But unfortunately, well, I don't know, yung Baguio kasi, it'll always be my second home. Pero may onting ano pa ako. May onting bitterness pa ako na we let go of the house already. So, meron pa siyang onting sakit na iba na yung, kailangan ko pang mag-adjust. Nasa adjustment period ako na iniisip ko na wala na kaming bahay doon at gets. Iba na I don't know. I know it's just a house.
But it grounds you. It's a territory.
Yun nga,
Humans gusto ng territory.
Oh, yun nga, exactly. So now, I have to think of it as a place to do vacation. Gets, parang it was, I was able to go back after the house was sold. And it was really different. So it was really sad, actually. Anyway, so, kumbaga wala akong ganon. And the closest na talaga would be Tarlac.
Pero the question is, parang do you feel the urge to relocate? Kasi kung wala namang urge, parang you don't need to do it. Diba?
I had like a huge urge to do it. Like, especially during the pandemic. Kasi Tarlac, the reason why I keep on mentioning Tarlac, like an obsessive nut. When we did some shoots there, like almost 10 years ago, can you believe?
Yeah.
Wow.
I have never felt so attached to a place. Have you ever felt that? No, parang kahit first time mo makarating doon, parang I'm so comfortable here. Alam mo yun? Parang, parang I like this place. And every time we've shot there, so many places there, so many times, every time may bago kaming spot na nadidiscover, I'm always in love with that new spot. Parang ganun.
Yeah.
So there's something about that place. Except I have no roots there at all. Except for that memory, I guess. Yun na lang siguro yung grounding. That memory of wonder. Gets that awe. That I, kumbaga, siguro kaya ako siya palaging binabalikan at pernamamas ko talaga sa sarili ko na one day, bibili ako ng lupa sa Tarlac at titira doon somehow. Kasi gusto ko lang maramdaman yon ulit or in a way, onting permanently gets finally may kumbaga parang may permanent attachment na ako to that place, hindi lang puro memory, parang ganun.
But they do say, I read it somewhere na parang merong study in psychology that connects that. Parang meron lang talagang mga feelings yung tao that makes you feel more at home at a certain place. Like sometimes, diba, when you're traveling, when you're traveling, may mga place na alam mong you're just there to visit. But there are places that feel so comfortable. Like, may ganun, kahit na passing thought na, you know, I can live here. May ganun. Like, ako, parang may mga ganun akong nakakatawa. Whiskey na naman. Pero like, when I was going through, parang traveling through Scotland, parang meron akong sense of, wow, okay, I can live here. May ganon. As opposed to going to like yung mga city, like in Edinburgh, parang it didn't feel like home. Pero parang ganon. Plus may nabasa nga akong ganon na parang nagko-connect na, you know, sometimes may ganon ka lang talagang connection to a place. Sometimes a place just feels like home. It just, the environment just feels like that for you.
Yeah, exactly. And I think ang important lang din naman, and I think this is like one of the main themes of the film is the grounding. That grounding part, it's not specific to the childhood provincial home. Because not everyone has that. I think it comes with the memory of family, friendship, love, alam mo yun. Kung saan nandun yun, yun yung parang pwede mong gamitin as your grounding tool. Tool talaga.
Diba? Pero so true. Kasi, I mean, the house itself, it's just a shell. Parang everything that she did inside are the things that she got from her mother. The cooking she got from her mother. And those aren't like written or, I mean, except for the potato bread. Pero everything kasi she remembered lang eh. Kaya nga parang like, yung mga flashbacks, feeling ko heightened that in a way. Kasi parang yung bahay lang naman yun eh. Wala naman yung anything eh. Alam mo yun.
Totoo.
But it's like the memories in every corner. And that's all inside of you. So wherever you go, kung dala mo yun at connected ka dun sa mga memories and feelings na yun, you will always be home. Dagdag na lang siguro na parang like may familiarity ka sa isang lugar. Pero kung nasa yun naman yun, okay lang siya.
And plus, diba, like for example, she knows the recipes. She didn't have to go home to do it.
Yeah.
She could have done it easily in Seoul. You know what I mean? But she had to go home and do it there.
Yeah.
Meron din kasi akong connection na ganun kasi parang it just feels so different whenever I'm cooking in the kitchen in my childhood home versus cooking in a condo. It
Very
feels so
true.
different. Parang may ano talaga. So parang, like you said, it's just a shell pero merong something eh. It's the energy, I guess, of the place, of parang meron ka lang talagang sense of comfort when you're there.
Can I just share this? So, I've been raving about this series. It's called The Makanai. The Japanese series about the cook in charge of Geiko house. Maiko house. So that. So, ang premise kasi nun, yun nga, tagaluto siya, and then very Japanese manga. Actually, very similar when they would do mga food shots. I kept on going back to, like, my favorite scenes, favorite shots in the Bakanai. And then, but, in one of the scenes, tinanong si girl, like, why do you like cooking? Parang ganun. Tas parang, something like, is it about the food? What is it about cooking that you love so much? Kasi she was always so happy eh. So, kaya siya natanong. Sabi niya, I don't think it's about the cooking per se, but I like the kitchen. And I like the kitchen because people gather here to enjoy my food. So, it's actually the people gets.
Yeah.
The experience with the people, that's what she treasured the most. And that is why she was enjoying the cooking. That's what, like, that's what kept her going. I mean, if you see talaga the scenes, ang dami mga eksena na, alam mo yung utak niya, nakikita mo sa mga mata niya, yung utak niya naggagano na, nag-haywire, whatever, kasi ini-imagine niya na kung paano lulutuin yung lunch. Parang ganon. But she's doing that because she's excited to cook for the family.
Yeah.
Because she loves the kitchen. That's why that's the kitchen for her. Parang ganon.
Kaya sobrang isa din sa mga pinaka-favorite scenes ko dito sa movie na sobrang nakakaiyak din was that moment, yung dun sa kitchen nung mom, that morning, na yung suot ni Terry, yung coat na suot niya, na alam mo na yung day na yon, yung day na pag-uwi niya sa bahay, wala na yung mom
nanay niya.
And then that scene when the mom was just in the kitchen and there was a shot that she was looking through the window of the kitchen window, nakita niya anak niya palabas na ng gate. And alam niya na yun na yung goodbye. As in, sobrang laki nung impact sa akin talaga nung scene na yun. Kasi parang ang dami ko ring napanood. Like, for example, there's this Korean architect who's also like talking about houses and how to build them in a way that the energy flows and to make it a place where family could communicate, but at the same time, dapat may mga sariling spaces pa rin kayo. But anyway, sabi niya nga, focal point lagi yung kitchen. Yung mga kitchen, hindi siya di ba madaming mga homes na yung kitchen parang nasa likod or nasa parang very closed off. Ang ginagawa niya whenever he builds a house, he makes sure that the kitchen is very open. And usually sabi niya, this is the parang the control center of the house eh. Kasi everybody always gathers to eat. Everybody always wants to know what's the food. Everybody always goes there. So whoever's in the kitchen should have a good view of the whole house. So parang focal point siya lagi dapat. So dapat open counter. Hindi siya yung naka-close off na wala lang.
Yeah. Yung last ko na lang na hear it about this film. So when I was reading the reviews, there was this one guy who wrote, audience lang siya, hindi siya some critic or whatever. Parang, ang tip niya lang is, let this film find you.
Oh.
Because it's the kind of film na, it'll speak to you talaga eh. Parang, it's the kind, there are very rare films na, you don't know how you discover it. It just happens. Parang you just click on it and then you watch it and then suddenly you're connected. Parang ganon. So, yun. Basically, let this film find you. And parang kumbaga you'll have your fill. Diba? Fill. And it kind of actually goes hand in hand with what Yim Soon Rye, the director, said nga na kaya nga extra proud siya sa contribution niya to the youth, to the people in need. Kasi nga, she also found out na this is the kind of film na people really watch over and over again. Because of how it touched their lives. So, sabi niya, baka kahit ano pang laking pelikula na gawin niya in the future or whatever, this is probably gonna be one of her favorite projects because she made an impact talaga. So, we've now come to this part of the program. I would like to propose that we do a chill game because, to balance out with the chill film that we saw, the chill but memorable and fulfilling film that is Little Forest. And so, our game is called the balance game.
Kailangan ng balance.
Kasi kailangan natin ng balance in life. So, ito na lang din ang ating laruin. Basically, magbibigay lang ako ng options per category. Category with options. Tapos pipili lang tayo and quickly explain kung bakit yun ang pinili natin.
Okay.
So first, without any context, kayo na lang bahala mag-intindi or whatever. Anong pipiliin nyo? Mountain? Beach?
Ako beach. Beach forever. I love the sand. I love the sea. I love the sun hitting the sea. I just feel comfort and healing when I'm at the beach.
Ako same. Sea din ako. Also, actually, parang sea or mountain. Pero kasi pag inisip ko rin yung sea, meron din namang nature involved dyan. Usually, there are mga cliff, meron pa rin namang sort of mountain element. Parang you get everything. As opposed to mountain na mountain lang. Wala namang sea element kapag isipin mo yun. So, yes to sea. Water, sand, sunset is best.
Ooh, sunset. Yes.
Oh.
And
fish. I will choose mountain because as a Baguio person, and aside from that, wala. Gusto ko lang ng bundok. It's a magical place with the forest, deep forests. And
na may mga diwata.
Just that feeling that you're on a high. On a high.
Yeah, tama. You're closer to the clouds and to the sun.
Correct.
Okay, next question. Ano ang pipiliin nyo? Bataan, Bukidnon, o Batangas?
Kakatawa yung mga options. Puro B. Sandali.
Isip ko yon, geography.
Batangas. Batangas is my answer.
Because?
Well, familiar, I guess. Yun yung choice ko because of familiarity. Parang, never been to Bukidnon. Never. Bataan I've been to, but it doesn't feel like a relaxing place to be in for me. So, Batangas, yes. Because of the many, many trips I've done there.
Actually, yung Bataan din kasi, parang may childhood element yan sa akin kasi meron akong family who's there, tapos may beach and like province life levels. Pero, Batangas parang mas mabigat siya sa puso ko because I got married there in Calatagan. I really love Batangas. Like, so many memories.
Happy anniversary!
Yes! Oh, thank you! 5 years, guys!
Oh my God.
Imagine. Okay. How about you, Mon?
My sagot is also Batangas.
Because?
Just because. Okay. Sa Bataan kasi, maraming mumu. Tapos, sa Bukidnon, actually, maganda din talaga ang Bukidnon. As in. Pero siguro, not that I don't wanna live down south, like, I mean, apart from Luzon, but I guess, if I'm gonna live somewhere, I'm really still comfortable with near home. And Batangas is the nearest home. So, nearest to home, I mean.
Oh.
Okay. And then for the final category, ano ang pipiliin nyo? Tomato, onion, o pechay?
Ako onion.
Oh my God,
Onion
you're
fan
rich.
talaga ako. Oy, pero meron na ngayong mga murang onions
Oo nga
na kaya lang imported sila. But anyway, onions talaga, sobrang hirap ako as a mom magluto ng walang onions. Sobrang love ko siya as an aromatic. It's really perfect. Parang kahit anong gusto mong lutuin, even if like simple meal na kahit fried or kahit may konting sauce or kahit may soup. Sobrang love na love ko talaga kapag may onion. So, yes, onions!
Yes.
Ako shucks, ang hirap. It was between tomato and pechay. But I think tomato na lang. Kasi like, hindi siya sana lang. Kasi parang like, I like how it's the fruit of the vegetables. Pero fruit siya, di ba? Tama ba?
Fruit.
Parang I'm more attracted to its juiciness. And like, I can make it into pastas, pasta sauce. Like, there's so many things you can do with it. And there's so many different kinds of tomatoes as well. So,
Correct.
parang there's a diverse array of things you can do with it, depending on the kind of tomato pa.
And I choose tomato because during the pandemic, I actually grew tomatoes on my balcony.
Yes, you did.
Kaya tuwang-tuwa ako sa Little Forest when she started going on about tomatoes. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. I know, girl. Parang ganun. Yeah, check out. O yun lang. That's it for our game. Like a little cute trivia eme about us. For Batangas. Fruit/vegetable that we prefer and the kind of people that we are. Mountain and beach people.
Yeah.
Sana manood kayo nitong movie na to. As in, we're not exaggerating when we say that it is really beautiful. We feel like madali naman siyang ma-enjoy.
And I guess kung umabot ka na dito, baka napanood mo na siya. So, kung may mga thoughts kayo, kung may mga thoughts kayo about the show, share it with us. And if you have any other like shows from women directors then that you want to share, please do
recommend.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from
and
you
recipes. Oh my gosh, like
yes,
if you can tell us like favorite recipes that you love cooking or that it reminds you of home or whatever particular memory na alam mo yon, because of it, paulit-ulit mo lang linuluto. Do share with us. I really love stories like that. I think those are special and nakatulong siya sa well-being. So thank you guys for listening to this episode. We really hope you enjoy the show and hopefully we get to hear, listen, watch more films.
What recipe reminds you guys of home?
Ako definitely sinigang.
Anong klaseng sinigang?
Sinigang na baboy na mataba and may kailangan talaga pag nanay ko yung associating ribs kasi yun yung favorite niya.
Sarap! Meron yung lola ko na wala nang may alam ng recipe. But she has this recipe of lengua. Di ba pag sabi mo lengua, it's really parang brown sauce siya. But hers, she does it with tomato sauce.
Mine is kare-kare. Just because,
sarap!
Yeah.
Ayan.
Like, growing up, I love watching my lola cook it. And then, I tried cooking it na rin recently. And it's like a continuation of that food culture, pero making it our own every time. So, wala lang. It's a good reminder of how life goes on.
I got that in the forest.
Forest!
Forest.